Hey everybody, so a few weeks ago I did a video in regards to the trailer for the film Really Love, starring one of my favorite actors from Queen Sugar, Kofi Siriboe, as well as other actors and actresses who are very familiar to us, including Yutha Wangloy Singh, Suzanne Douglas, Michael Ealy, Jade Ashete, Tristan Wiles, Uzo Aduba, Naturi Natin, and many others. Well, I have just watched that film and I am back for a brief discussion about that film. First and foremost, this film was so well done that I even took notes. Like, that's how well this film really was. In fact, it was excellent in my opinion. And I mentioned in the previous discussion that did in regards to the trailer that the film gave me Love Jones vibes. And if you all have seen the film, then you would know there are so many similarities to Love Jones in this film. However, I don't want to overshadow the uniqueness of this film by discussing Love Jones, so I'm just going to leave it at that. I think we all can agree, for those of us who have seen the 1990s film Love Jones, that there are more than just a few similarities of this film to that film. But moving beyond that, I feel like this is the perfect kind of film for the era that we live in today. Now, first and foremost, just to give a little background, this film actually premiered at the AFI Virtual Film Festival last October. So, this film was actually released October of 2020. And of course, it was just released for many of us to stream through Netflix on August 25th of this year. So, in this film, we have the actor Kofi Siriboe playing this character by the name of Isaiah Maxwell, and we have Yutha Wong Loy Singh playing a character by the name of Stevie Solomon. Now, Isaiah Maxwell is like a starving artist, literally, who is after his own solo show. Apparently, he went to some sort of art school, and I don't know if it was high school or what it was, but those that are his peers, specifically white males that were his peers, seem to be excelling at their art career and getting solo shows. Meanwhile, Isaiah hasn't had one. However, with the help of what appears to be his mentor, in my opinion, his art mentor, Yusef Davis, who is played by Michael Ealy, Kofi is on a mission, or excuse me, Isaiah is on a mission to get his own solo show. Meanwhile, we have Uzo Aduba, who has the ability to help Isaiah get his show. Now, Uzo Aduba plays a character by the name of Shania, and apparently Shania has the connections in order to help Isaiah get to where he wants to be in his art career, because technically he's broke and his family keeps hassling him. Specifically, his father is hassling him about getting a regular job. And I really enjoy seeing those scenes because it's realistic. It's very realistic to for some of us who we take the creative route, and then the rest of our family is like, listen, all right, the bills are stacking, you live with me, what are you going to do with the rest of your life? Go get a job, stop this madness, stop this art madness. But then we have Yutha's character, Stevie Solomon, and she's completely opposite of Isaiah Maxwell. She is going into something more stable. She's in college, she's in law school, and she, like Isaiah, knows what she wants to do, but it's just that her career path is provides a lot more stability, and actually would be smiled upon by others more than Isaiah's path and career choice would be. So with that being said, the two of them, as we see in the beginning of the film, meet up at the gallery, not on purpose. That's where they first meet. However, they come to find out that they have mutual friends, and those friends are played by the actress Jada Shetty and the actor Tristan Mack Wilds. And these two friends, I believe, really help secure Isaiah and Stevie together, because I feel as though they met in the art gallery, they were just strangers, but knowing that they have mutual friends probably helped them be more comfortable with moving forward with one another. And we just get to see them go on this beautiful ride together of falling in love. And of course, with that, because it is a film, then there comes the problems, there comes the issues, the things that are going to attack their relationship. And I feel as though the film really did a great job with building that up. They did a great job. It wasn't rushed for a film on Netflix. To me, in my opinion, it was not rushed. The relationship between them was realistic because I mean, I don't know about you all, but I feel as though them being who they were at and meeting at the time that they did, it definitely was realistic that they fell for each other very quickly. And not to mention that Stevie rather, moved Isaiah into her home. That gave them the closeness that they probably desire, but at the same time, it did cause issues because Stevie comes from a family where clearly her parents are looks to be pretty affluent, and they did not take kindly to the fact that Isaiah had moved in with Stevie, and she just had to blurt it out. And I believe once that happened, that made Isaiah feel some type of way because not only was he receiving, disagreement from her parents in regards to him living with her. After all, it was Stevie's home, which chances are, if she's in college, it is more than likely her parents paying for her home. But also, I'm sure in the Isaiah, as being a man, he wants to be the provider for his woman and, not look like that in front of her parents. And on top of it, I'm sure in his mind is always his father telling him to get a job. So that seems to be when the stress and tension really began in their relationship. And there was even a point where Naturi Naughton's character, now mind you, Naturi Naughton played character that was Stevie Solomon's friend as well. And she had to let Stevie know, like, listen, that is your man. He feels some type of way because he cannot provide for you. You want to fix it? Stop, sis. You cannot fix it. You have to let him be a man, and he has to fix it because he wants to provide for you. And can I just say, Suzanne Douglas, rest in peace. Suzanne Douglas playing Stevie Solomon or Yutha Wong Loy Singh's mother in this film, I really resonated with that. And I know it's because I'm a mother, but I really, or maybe not, maybe it could be, it could be a big sister to a little sister type of scenario. However, I really resonated with the mother played by Suzanne Douglas telling Stevie, like, listen, don't ever put someone first in your life that would not do the same for you. And I get it, her mother was on the outside looking in. However, regardless of how, now we know how the film ends, but at first, when Isaiah and Stevie got into it in that scene where they get into it in her bedroom because he's feeling some type of way, and she's asking him, like, do you think I should take this position out in Chicago? Do you think I should go out there? And he's basically, just telling her to go. But meanwhile, she had been reluctant to leave because she wanted to be there for him. But it seemed as though he didn't mind putting his career and his art before her. And so it was a test when she asked him that, and he failed horribly because he basically pushed her out the door. And y'all, I just got to say it. I just have to say it. Definitely brought me back to Love Jones, where Nia Long's character asked Lorenz Tate character about something in regards to her leaving town and tested him to see if he would say anything to keep her there in that town. And sure enough, he too failed the test because he basically shoved her too out the door. So I just had to, I know I said I wasn't going to do it, but listen, anyway, in that scene, Isaiah was definitely being pretty immature in that scene, and he wasn't yet ready to hold on to Stevie. He wasn't yet ready for that relationship. In fact, I believe it took Stevie leaving for Chicago in order for Isaiah to realize a year later how much she really meant to him. However, if she would have stayed in town, I do not believe he would have ever came to that conclusion. I feel like he was too young and too immature to appreciate her. And if she would have stuck around, then he would have never been able to realize that he was neglecting her and that she was not going to stand for it. And that's pretty much what Suzanne Douglas' character that played Yutha Wong Loy Singh's mother, Stevie's mother, that's pretty much what her character was telling her daughter. Like, don't put anyone first that would not put you first. And I can resonate with that because I stand for that. I walk in that. And I encourage my children, specifically, my daughters as well, the same, to know the same thing. Don't you ever do some mess like that. You came into this world with your purpose. You should not have to sacrifice your purpose for anyone else, especially when that person will always put their purpose before you. Why are you not doing the same? So anyway, with all of that being said, again, Isaiah does eventually go to Chicago and see Stevie, but not only does he see Stevie, he sees her with another man. And in my opinion, that really makes him realize, oh snaps, she didn't wait for me. I really have to step my game up. If I really want to be with her, I'm about to lose her to someone else. And so, y'all, the rest is history. Y'all have seen the film. Y'all know what happens from that point on. But I just want to say there's so many things. There were so many things that were great in this film. So many things that were really well said. For example, there was a point where Isaiah Maxwell sat with Yusef Davis, again played by Michael Ealy, and Yusef said to him, "Listen, you can't just be good. You have to be epic." I just have to throw that in there. That was really amazing. I really enjoyed that liner. Last but not least, I want to also say something that really stood out to me, and I'm just wondering, did it stand out to anyone else? When Kofi's character Isaiah would look at his phone or his text messages or whatever from Stevie, it was he always saved her under her. He never saved her under Stevie. And I thought that was just such an artist. That's just such an artist thing to do. He saved her under her. So in the end, when Stevie is at the art gallery and she was struggling to figure out if she wanted to be back with Isaiah, but she ended up showing up at the art gallery, which, mind you, I don't even think was in Chicago. So that means she went back home in order to see him and pretty much let him know with her presence that she chose him over her life in Chicago. But when she was there and they locked eyes, he was immediately pulled away by Shania to go meet some people. So this scene was showing that he was still going to be busy with his art. And I believe in that moment it made Stevie feel like Isaiah was going to always put his art before her. And suddenly it seemed as though there was reluctance all over her countenance because she just started looking just very solemn, just very sad, just very, really sad, versus when she first got in the art gallery and she was seeing everybody that she knew and she looked so elated. But in that moment, it was like, what did I come back here for? He's not choosing me. He's still choosing all of this stuff over me. And then suddenly, all the traffic clears from in front of this painting, and she turns around to the painting, and it's her. And the painting is stunning, y'all. The painting is so stunning. And she knows it is her because most of Isaiah's paintings are really distorted. And I just love how they talked about the art in here too. I'd be all day if I had to talk about that. But she scrolls her, she looks down with her eyes, and it lands on the label of the painting or the title of the painting, and it's titled Her. And she know it is her because that is the same name that Isaiah saved her in his contacts as. So I just thought that was excellent. When I tell you I was screaming, I was just going crazy about that because I could not believe that they ended this film so well. And there he was in the background, and that is it. We didn't need to know anything. We didn't need any verbal confirmation that they got back together. We didn't need to see them kissing in the end. You knew based off of that scene. And I thought that was so symbolic because there was a point in there was a point in the film where Isaiah told Stevie, he said, listen, I just want people to see my art, and I don't have to explain it for once. Let them see it and they understand the message. And I felt like in that moment, that is exactly what happened. Not only for the character Stevie, mind you, who saw the art and he need not explain anything. She understood. But also for us as the audience, because seeing that scene, you don't need them to verbally confirm that the two are back together. You don't need to see the two embrace each other. You knew in that moment by the look of her face that she understood he was putting her first, and that he was in the background seeing that she understood. And therefore, that was confirmation for us all that they were going to be all right. So y'all, that is it. I'm just like, y'all can probably tell by the excitement in my voice that I really enjoyed this film. I am such a huge fan of the actor Kofi Cerebral. I am so excited for future projects, but I'm gonna tell you, he knocked this one out the ballpark. Yutha Wong Lloyd Singh, she knocked this at the out the ballpark. And I know Michael Ealy as well as Uzo Aduba did not necessarily have the largest role in this film, but they knocked it out the park with their roles, as well as Suzanne Douglas, just so beautiful in this role and very nurturing, just so nurturing and protective of her daughter. Blair Underwood had his moment too when he was talking about gentrification. He was like, "Listen, I hope you buy some property in Southeast because you know they coming for that." He had me rolling, y'all. So that is it, because I can go on and on and on about all the hidden gems in this film and how spectacular it was. How when Kofi Cerebral's character Isaiah was painting, how he literally looked like he was making love to the painting with his eyes and with the strokes of his brush. He was cold. I'm telling you, he needs to win an award for this darn role. But anyway, you all let me know what you think in the comment section about this film. I don't think there's another film I'm going to be this excited about for 2021. So that is it. I'll talk to y'all soon. Peace.